What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark, MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to talk about Separated. It's a new documentary by Errol Morris, so that should be interesting. I don't know why this documentary is not getting any traction. Errol Morris is doing it. He seems to usually catch some sort of a fire when he gets into the documentary realm. Um, but yeah, this is an exploration of America's policy on separating children at the border from their parents, and sort of the insidious reasons for doing so, and what the actual ramifications are of that, explored through people who have worked in the government, who have been in the meetings, who are sort of like whistleblower type, uh, who are being interviewed and explaining how things came to be sort of historically, when we first started talking about this policy, which actually was before Trump. People had been trying to do this and kicking it around, kicking the idea around. Um, and sort of what goes on to happen to these kids after they're separated, and sort of how the public doesn't necessarily know how bad it is because, the it's deny, 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 like, oh, no, we're not really, no, it's not that. It is like, yeah. Anyway, so they explore it through a couple different interviews into the subject. I found it fascinating. I liked it. I think it's one of those topics that we should be talking about, is what's happening. Because we live in this weird world where everybody's really worried after Sound of Freedom about what's happening to kids. So why aren't you worried about what's happening to kids who are being separated at the border? Like, they can't find a lot of them that go into foster care, and that's our choice as an American government. Like, those are the people in the American government who have structured this, and who was doing the separation policy during this time, who was pulling those kids and putting them into foster care, and then nobody could find them again. There's an answer to that question that you're not going to like if you also liked Sound of Freedom. So, I think it's a film that people actually have to sit down and reckon with and be like, okay, does this policy make sense? No, it does not. Separating kids from their families at the border does not make sense. And then, especially when we don't have a system set up that can easily track and identify and be able to reunite them once we have whatever they claim, whatever bullshit. They're like, oh, we can't verify who you are. We'll verify and then put them back together. Um, we don't have a system, and we lose kids all the time and can't find them again. So for everybody who's worried about like, ooh, what's going on with well, what's happening with sex trafficking is we're separating kids at the border, and then we're taking them, and then they're never to be found again. That's what's happening. We're doing that as an American government. So we've solved Sound of Freedom. Look at that. I did that. I did that. I didn't need to be Jim Caviezel. I did it all myself right there in one film. It's really quick. It's done. Anyway, so Separated's amazing. It just doesn't have audio description, which sucks because I feel like there's a lot of text, because sometimes somebody will talk and then he'll just like sit in a moment where I'm pretty sure there's like something I'm supposed to see on that screen. It's like, boom, like in 1989, 5 people left the country, never to return again. I don't know, whatever the fuck's on screen. So this one actually would have supported audio description a lot more because it's not constant talking. Errol Morris uses his beats to have lots of them where no one is talking throughout the film, which would have allowed for a lot of contextual audio description. So it's just kind of disappointing that Separated doesn't have that. Don't worry if you're upset already. This documentary didn't go anywhere. It's not on any short list for anything. We have other things to contend with. World is on fire all over the place. We couldn't get Separated or Zorofsky v. Texas on the Oscar shortlist this year, so we have other problems in this world to deal with. I'm sure the documentary branch of the Oscars was like, my God. I love that Will and Harper made the list, though. I love that, like, film, just sort of like an inconsequential film. and Separated and Zerosky, Texas, and films like that are like, no, no. But Will and Harper. It's just like, let's get into that. Feels so anti. It feels like something they would not choose. I don't think it's gonna make the final five either. So anyway, I would recommend Separated. It's, if nothing, it's not educational, and if you really care about what's happening to kids at the border, then well, this is for you. I got educated. It's not a very long movie anyway. I got educated even without the audio description, so you can make that choice for yourself. Although technically, I'm still going to say unwatchable due to lack of audio description, with a floating grade of an A minus, which means it could be an A, it could be a B plus, somewhere around in there. Because there is enough of a reason here that even though I think the subject matter is important, there is enough gap in the talking to be able to put an audio description that would have made a difference. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.